Hi, I'm Tracy, and I am doing this crowdfunding campaign to try to raise money to make a documentary called The End of Suffering. This film feels like a real natural extension of everything my life has really been about up until this point, and a real expression, I guess, of my understanding of the suffering in the world and how to end it. And so I'd like to tell this story through the framework of the Buddha's Four Noble Truths and Noble Eightfold Path. So the first noble truth is the truth of suffering, and I want to look at the suffering in our world, the biggest problems that we as a world face, from human rights issues to the environmental crisis to the way that we treat non-human animals, and specifically looking at the way we treat the farmed animals. And I want to look at what a disconnect there is between the way that we treat other beings and what the world's spiritual traditions, as well as modern social science, tells us is really our true nature, not the nature of selfishness and egotism and individualism that we often hear about when we're talking about human nature, but our higher nature of compassion and kindness and interconnection and cooperation. And then I want to look at the Buddha's second noble truth, the causes of suffering, and how pretty much all of the major problems that we face in our world today can all be traced back to the same source, which is really our view of other beings and our attitude of exploitation and domination of other humans, of the non-human animals, and of the environment. And then the Buddha's third noble truth, the end of suffering, tells us that once we understand the causes of suffering, we can begin to end that suffering, that the end of suffering is possible. And then the fourth noble truth, the path that leads to the end of suffering, looking at how we can live our lives to alleviate suffering, to change the world, and to create a more compassionate, sustainable, healthy world for all of us. And so I want to do some filming with different communities who are a part of that change, who are already working to create another kind of society, one that is based on mutual respect of all beings and the living environment. So we'll do some filming at some monasteries, some vegan monasteries, some farm animal sanctuaries, and other places, talking to lots of people who are trying to be a part of ushering in this new world. And what I really want to do with this film both is to raise awareness about the suffering, raise awareness about the causes of suffering, and to inspire people, to give people inspiration and the tools to begin to make the changes that we need to make in order to create the world that really we all and all social justice movements are working towards, but really looking at the roots of all these problems and realizing that they're not separate, that they're very much interconnected, like we all are interconnected. And I'm doing crowdfunding because in order to make the theater quality, high quality film that I feel this subject matter really deserves, I'm gonna need a lot of money. And there are a lot of grant organizations out there that are looking to give money to projects that are about sustainability, that are about social justice and extending social justice to populations who have been overlooked. And that's a lot of what the focus of this film will be. So I think that there is funding out there, but the catch-22 that I'm in is that this is my first film, and most grant organizations want to see some kind of work product, either a prior film or a fully produced clip from the current project. So in order to produce a clip that I can use for grant packages, grant applications, that's why I'm doing crowdfunding. And with the money that I will hopefully raise, I'm going to buy a high quality, a theater quality digital camera. And then I also want to hire professional help to help me in the areas where I don't have experience or skill. So I'm going to write, produce, and direct this film. And given my background writing and just the focus of my whole life, I feel qualified to speak on this topic and to substantively make this film. But I again would like it to be a really high quality film, so I want to hire a professional cinematographer and editor and sound person, and so for all of that I think it's going to cost me about $20,000 to get enough of the filming done to put together a clip that would make sense and that I can use to seek funds to finish the project. So I'm reaching out to all of you, to all of the amazing people out there who I know share my heart, who I know see the world like I do and are saddened by the world like I am, but who are also trying to be the change, trying to be light in this world, to bring more compassion into this world for all beings, and to create a sustainable world. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate your support, so I thank you really deeply from the bottom of my heart. And besides just being a part of something that I hope will be a really good thing in the world and have a positive impact and hopefully alleviate some suffering in the world, I'm also giving away lots of fun stuff, which you can see on the page. So things like t-shirts and copies of the book that I have coming out next month, as well as a cookbook that I did with a friend, Annie Oliverio, and then other opportunities to be really a part of the film. So there are lots of good incentives, and I thank you for supporting this project, and for everything that you all do in the world to help those beings who are less fortunate than us, to speak up for the vulnerable and the weak and the voiceless. I'm so grateful to be connected to you, and thank you so much.